The Acedian Pirates is a dark comedy about mythology and intervention and warfare and occupation in foreign territory. The play is set in a lighthouse in a dystopian world that is deliberately timeless and placeless to represent the cyclical nature of warfare.
So Troy is the son of the commander of this occupying force that we're kind of introduced to. And he is kind of as much a victim of war, I'd say, as a kind of instigator of sort of violence and chaos. And when he's kind of on stage, he's very much an intimidating presence and someone to be feared.
Helen, to me, is a character that's a part of this savage realism of war. And she's put into this world that is fiercely dominated by men and their ruthlessness. She's the only one that kind of questions where this will all end up and what is it all for.
Ivan is your typical cynical soldier until Jacob arrives, and then he has to start answering questions he's avoided for his entire career.
Jacob is pretty fresh-faced at the start of this. He comes into it as a young soldier who doesn't really understand the world he's going into, and then it all turns upside down.
Bernie is a relatively senior officer in the play, and he likes order. What he is trying to cling on to is rather slipping through his fingers, and things are breaking down, but he has his own techniques of trying to yank himself back into a position of authority and a feeling of being on top of things.
Bull is directly linked to Andrew's character, Bernie, and he's basically he'll do everything. Like, he'll cook and he'll bring everything in. He's a great fighting man, a man of few words, who has come to the realisation that war is completely useless.
It has been a really, really cracking first week. It's presented lots of challenges because this play is incredibly deep. There's lots to dig around and find in there. So it's been quite exploratory. But we've had just a really great time. We have a wonderful cast, great team working on this, and it's just wonderful seeing it all come together and seeing people ask the right questions.
It's really unusual, actually, compared to a lot of the other kind of theatre jobs that I've done, in that Jay's approach to kind of working on his own text is so kind of open, and the nature of the play sort of lends itself to a lot of different interpretations. And so the kind of vibe is very sort of inventive, and that kind of feeling of collaboration is very, very present.
It's really well written, so the lines are floating in on their own, so no homework necessary.
Yeah.
It's an exciting
Very
piece.
much, he's pulled off the trick of very familiar sounding dialogue. It's disarmingly sort of familiar and domestic in some respects in the way that people behave towards each other. You know, people will immediately be able to identify it.
I've not seen anything like this in a long time, in a while. It's a new story, it's new characters, it's a very new environment. It feels very fresh in its style and substance.
Yeah, it's new writing. There's no better reason. Come and see what someone can do that you haven't seen before.
It's also really good, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
If that's not sold, I don't know.
Yeah.